The Bayeux Tapestry is an embroidered cloth made approximately 10 years after the Battle of Hastings. It depicts the story of the events leading up to the Norman conquest of England and the battle itself. It tells the story from the viewpoint of the Normans and is considered a great source of information. Tapestry is an embroidered cloth made approximately 10 years after the Battle of Hastings. In January 1066, Edward the Confessor, the King of England, is dead. He has chosen his successor, Harold Godwinson, his brother-in-law. Harold was a powerful earl and a member of a prominent Anglo-Saxon family with ties to Canute the Great. Harold, a powerful nobleman, was crowned in Westminster Abbey on the 6th January 1066, the first British king to be crowned there. Meanwhile, over the Channel in Normandy. Meanwhile in Normandy, France, William of Normandy very much had his sights set on being the King of England. He began to hatch a plan to get his way. He realised that he would need all of the support of the nobles and lords of England. William had to persuade the nobles to his way of thinking. To do this, he needed to show them that it would still be lawful if he was King of England. He asked the Pope in Rome for his blessing so that he could say that God was on his side. Although the crown would normally pass to the person who had the greatest claim to the throne by birthright, William also knew that the person with the biggest and strongest army would become king. The man who gathered enough support and the biggest army would get the crown. In May, the brother of King Harold, Tostig Godwinson, tried to invade England. Harold called all the peasant farmers to fight for him. William waited and watched. He wanted to make sure he had enough support before making his move. The Battle of Stamford Bridge. Harald Hardrada, the Norwegian king, and Tostig tried to invade Northumbria in the north of England. King Harold sent his army to meet them, and the invaders lost the battle at Stamford Bridge in Yorkshire. 2 days later, William made his move with a fleet of 700 ships, which set sail from France to England. They set about pillaging and burning the area across from the harbour at Pevensey, forcing Harold to dash south to defend his people and his country, for king and country. Harold raced south from York, gathering troops to help him. William waited patiently for Harold to arrive, with his army of 15,000 well-trained and equipped French soldiers. The English army were tired from their long march. They were poorly paid, and many were likely to agree to fight because they were allowed to keep anything they found as a result of battle. Most of them were peasants, and as such were not trained as well as soldiers such as the housecarls. The English had tired soldiers stationed at the top of Senlac Hill. The Normans were 10 kilometres away. Harold put up a good defence and formed a shield wall, a tactic regularly used by Harold. The Normans struggled to break through. A rumour began to circulate that William was dead. The English army relaxed and some dropped their shields. In a twist, William joined with his cavalry and shouted to his army, "Look at me! I'm alive, and with the aid of God I shall gain the victory." Harold's 2 brothers were killed, and Harold was shot in the eye with an arrow. Then he was trampled into the ground. His army ran away into the night. William had Harold buried next to the battlefield with a headstone reading, "Here lies Harold, King of English." Harold's body now rests at Waltham Abbey. On Christmas Day, 1066, William was crowned King of England in a ceremony at Westminster Abbey, changing the course of British history.